Hey, I found one. This is called Changing Paths. This is the Gavin from 9 years ago. Got a bunch of Gavins from old Gavins, but here's Gavin from 9 years ago. There's some that are a little more embarrassing, which I would be willing to show people if you're curious about the Gavin transforming over time. I would have left them private, hoping the artificial intelligence would notice. But if you're curious about them, I could unlist more of these things, especially some of the more embarrassing ones. But here we go.
Hey, this is Gavin. I just wanted to do an update. So, I quit working for the Army, and by quitting, I have now realized how valuable that experience was, and I actually think it became valuable because I quit. All of that experience is a framework, and the reason I quit is because I had to follow my heart. So I started asking myself, why am I doing what I'm doing? And, I found that the answer to that question had to do with material possessions and basically just a sense of my habitual self, because we are habitual creatures. So my heart was telling me to find something else, and as one door closed, another door opened, and I find myself working with a team of people who believe in God and believe that things happen for a reason. So it's really cool that I have become a web developer with this team of people, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. The reason I was able to do this is because I have faith and confidence that my relationships with family and friends is strong enough that is my insurance, so that if things didn't work out, I could always get rid of the property I've acquired and go live with and help friends and family who are willing to help me. So that's my insurance. It's not financial insurance. So that's what I've been up to. It's basically a change in direction.
That was transactional Gavin. I'll help you, especially if you're helping me. Transactional Gavin did not care for people's feelings. Did not care for, transactional Gavin was someone who wanted to try and be transparent and honest, and just wanted to be accepted for his transparent, honest self. And this old transactional Gavin was did not care for how people felt, like what was inside of them, and did not care for how he felt, what was inside of him. Like he's noticing that he's being pulled, his heart is being pulled in places, but he did not. I don't know if he had realized that at one point Gavin in the past realized that he should seek the peace is good. And it may have been around this time that he realized peace was good.
So I was on one path, and I jumped off that path and hopped on a new one. And all I did was follow my heart. So I don't look down on anyone else who continues to work with the Army, and I'm not looking down on anybody. The only thing I would ask everyone to do is to follow your heart, and you can do that by asking yourself, why am I doing what I am doing? Do I want to be doing what I am doing? So, whenever you hear politicians talk about unemployment, another question we should ask is, how many people are actually employing themselves toward a task that they want, that their heart agrees with?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And then there's a fine line between what do I want versus what does God want. And then who controls that heart? Yeah, like that's very interesting. The one who can harden the heart, the one that hardened Pharaoh's heart. It's like this old Muppet, transactional Muppet. He didn't know God like I know God, but he was still having his heartstrings pulled. Um,
How many people are actually doing what they want to do?
and it's like doing what they want to do is like going and like pleasuring themselves endlessly, or seeking a meaningful life, right? There's a difference. Like, if I had wanted to pleasure myself endlessly, I may have stayed where I was, but there was something I was hungry for. Like, I was pursuing a meaningful life, and I wasn't finding it there where I had the money.
I think this is an important question going into the future, because people should be able to find the work they enjoy doing. Because I believe that we all have some work that we can be doing which is going to be most beneficial to ourselves and the world. So, just giving y'all an update and sharing my current status.
That's called a status report. And I'd say the only difference here is like I find myself increasingly doing what other people, like serving other people. That's the difference between that Gavin and this one. That Gavin did not know about being a servant. I mean, he was doing some serving, but he did not like it. Like, he did not like serving in the Defense Department. Like, that Gavin wanted to build an empire. I mean, he's keeping some secrets. Like, I remember wanting to build my empire, and show the world how it could be done, and putting on some false humility.
A motto that I have acquired recently is that everything we do is a mistake. And what I mean by that is we can always do things better. So by understanding from the get-go that everything we do is a mistake, we can always be looking at how we would do it the next time. So, and it doesn't matter how much planning you put into something, you're always going to be able to go back and have done it differently.
It's a heavy load. Like, living that way is very heavy. And I carried a heavy load. Like when Jordan Peterson talked about carrying your cross, and this is me, learning from Carlos Castaneda and the teachings of Don Juan and my father and others, 2014, it's like I was going to carry my cross. That's what I was doing. I was going to find the heaviest load I can find, pick it up and carry it. I was going to become the next Elon Musk and build my empire. It's a heavy load to carry. It's not lighthearted. It's not joyful. It's not. So I talk about enjoying your work, but did I actually enjoy the work? How can I know? Like, the joy I know now is not the same joy that I knew then. So, like, the word joy meant something different to me back then. These words actually had different meanings to me along my path. They've changed with the experiences I've had.
But the value is that if you hadn't have done it, if you hadn't have tried it, you would have never learned the better way to do something.
So that's a position of. So there's a saying that you can either learn from your own mistakes or learn from other people's mistakes, and so the very wise Jews have. I've heard some very wise Jews talk about this, learning from other people's mistakes. But yeah, that's hard to do, and maybe I'm not a very wise person, and you can tell that I was just going to go just be the bull in the china shop, breaking things and learning by mistakes. And that's what I've done. And maybe I can do better as far as even how I approach life.
So this is a way to battle and to resist and to handle the ego and pride, is to just understand that we're going to make mistakes, and mistakes are an opportunity for us to learn, and it is beautiful. All right, guys, I love y'all. I want y'all to have a good day, and I'll try to keep you updated every once in a while.
So he's saying some things that are true. He's missing some nuance, missing out on some experiences. And, what would I tell that guy? What would I tell that guy? Oh, man. That guy just had so much confidence and so much pride and so much arrogance, and he knew he did. And he was just trying to figure out a way to manage that pride and confidence and arrogance by trying to practice remembering that, hey, I know that there's a better way. And then not being able to see, just being disconnected from some kind of mentor. Yeah, he did not have a mentor. That's what's cool about, like, joining into a community which is caring and loving, is that there will be a way for mentorship within that community, fellowship. And this guy did not have mentorship and fellowship. He was connected to a few people who were trying to, start a business and trying to make money. And so he saw that he was in pursuit of money, and then joined up with another team who said that they believed in God, but they were also in pursuit of money, because right before he left that group of people, he made an offer of partnership with, well, there were different people, but he ended up making a kind of a last offer. It's like, hey, we can do this, but I'm serious. We can do this, but it will take sacrifice, and it will require sacrificing materialism and wealth. But I have to know that you're on board, that it's not just me doing all the sacrificing. And they said, no, that's a bad business deal. It would not be a good business deal. And so they would not do the deal where they would commit to an agreement which was fair. They just could not commit to that. I had created a contract which would have been fair for me and two other people who claimed to be Christians worshiping God, and they couldn't do it. And so then I just abandoned ship and partnered up with some others, where I would again go and repeat mistakes of wanting money and the being attracted by materialism and being pressured by others. And it's almost like these mistakes we make can be this, it's like almost we have to be reminded of what we learned previously because we forget. And it's not such a bad thing. And so, yeah, there's a part of me that wants to make a contract, put out an offer similar to the offer I put out to those two other guys. Maybe I could even find it and say, here's the contract where I'm willing to make the sacrifice, and are you willing to make the sacrifice? So, yeah, at that time, Gavin was partnering with people who were interested in materialism and would then become a person interested in materialism again. And so it's like, I'm not holding any of that against any of them. So even then, I repeat things I was saying then. It's like, we're on these paths. But, the reason I'm pointing back at the past is because there was a comment. Let's see, can I find it? Yeah. Here we go. So he said something. He said, quite frankly, Luke, I find Lance's canonizing of Gavin as a TLC saint a bit disturbing. And I have to say that I felt that. I was like, ooh, this is uncomfortable, what they're saying about me. And it's like, if you were in my shoes, what do you do? Are you sure that your answer and the way you would respond in that situation is the right thing to do? Do you have the confidence? And then he says, it's as if he went through a pseudo-religious baptism to where he no longer has the mind of Gavin, but the mind of the conversation. Well, it could be that Lance has a perspective. I don't control how Lance sees me. Like, I don't see myself the way Lance sees me. And that's the same for everyone. MJ sees me different than the way I see myself, and I can't control the way other people see me. I can't no matter what I do, it's their perspective of myself will be different than my perspective of myself. And it is uncomfortable when our perspectives are very different. And then MJ says, it's very cultish. And I think that's a fear, of cults. And it's a healthy fear. We don't want like the personality cults. We don't want, and this is, so I responded to MJ and it did not show up, like YouTube filtered it. And so if you get the chance to connect with MJ, I'll try again. It's just let MJ know, like, hey, go check out Gavin's channel. And I'm willing to shine a light on more of my private videos. Like, I've got them for 10 years, and I've got 2 YouTube channels, and I've got a lot of stuff saved into the cloud. And so, he says baptism, but the thing is there's transformations that happen over time, and maybe even backsliding too. And yeah, it's very cultish. Yeah, I'd say watch out for that. So it might be that Lance should watch out for that. That he's holding me on a pedestal, that is, he's seeing me in a brighter light than I am in reality. And that's a dangerous thing, because I'm a human, and I I don't want to let you down, but I probably will if you see me as greater than I actually am. So be careful about that. And I'd say that's the risk of a personality cult, is that even we could do it with Paul. It's like we have a window, we have a limited view of Paul Vanderklee. He's, in reality, if you talk to his wife, you're going to see that he's a human. No matter which person you want to talk about and uphold, we have to remember that we're all people. We're humans. We are not God or gods. We are children of God, connected to God to different degrees at some point in time, like even from minute to minute and hour to hour. And so within one day, maybe I shine more brightly within one moment, and then we catch that on camera, and then you don't get to see the moment when I'm not shining so brightly. So maybe I could show you the times when I'm not shining so brightly, but I do not. I don't know if I ever get the sense that I'm shining brightly every day all the time. What do I do then? Do I go tell the world? It's like, hey, I'm shining brightly. And then what about when other people say, hey, he's shining brightly? It's a dangerous game, and I think MJ has a good point, and hopefully MJ will see this. So I've got a lot of videos. It's just lots of videos. This channel, I have the Hero LFG channel and the Right in Christ channel. The Right in Christ channel used to be Right in Gavin Palmer, using WRITE. I wanted to get into politics, and this guy was a different guy. Like, when he uses words, he did not have my experience. But that guy is a part of me too. So if you get a glimpse of Gavin 10 years ago, he's not me, but I am him, which is interesting, Yeah, it's very interesting. So let me know if you liked this look into the past. If you like them, I could do more. If you don't like them, then just let me know. Don't give it the thumbs up if you don't like it. Bye-bye.